layout share for you guys for the month of March. Most of this is using my How to Kill a Kit with Style kit, which was my Wild Whisper kit that I put together with all of the leftover bits and pieces and collections that I have, trying to get as much of it used up as possible before all their new stuff comes out starting this week, actually, I think. So I think I did okay. It was definitely a slower month for me, especially once all this COVID stuff started happening. I found it really hard to actually just sit and be creative. My kids are home, my hubby is home, we have the puppy and the kitten, and I scrap in the living room at a little desk, and unfortunately our living room has become the living room, the congregation room where everybody comes to hang out. It's become a homework room, it's become a Zoom class meetings and Google class meetings room, because the kids like to sit at this desk when they're doing their Zoom classes and stuff. It's become a dance studio. Every day we have to push all of our furniture out and move the couch and stuff so that the kids can continue with dance, because that's really important especially for my daughter, going from like 15 hours a week of competitive training to nothing. She really needs to keep going with her dance. So all that to say, I'm still finding my groove when it comes to the me time and the scrapbooking time for me, but I think I did pretty good, so let me show you. I definitely put a dent in my Wild Whisper kit, so I'm happy about that. I think I'm actually going to carry that kit on for the month of April and maybe just add a few extra little springy things in there, and this little mini album that I'm going to start, so we'll get into that when I'm done this. So the first thing I have here is a traveler's notebook layout, and this is using the, let's see, all of these leaves and acorns and all that kind of stuff is from the Strength of the Season collection, and then this paper here and this little ephemera piece and some of these little ephemera pieces, this little play date, that all comes from Child at Heart. And then this background paper is actually from Focus on You, and it just ended up working out perfect because there's almost like a watercolor leaf print in the background. So I thought that brought 3 different collections together, and they worked out really great together. I punched out a few little leaves here. Even though this is a September traveler's notebook, it was already feeling very fallish, so I went with that more fall theme and just documenting the Munchkins at Granary Road, playing at Granary Road. You've seen a couple of these layouts before from the same day, so yeah, I think that worked really good to bring a whole bunch of collections together. This was based off of a sketch for the stretcher sketch, so there is a video for this. You can go and check it out and see what the original sketch was, and I love how this one turned out. This was for a Wild Whisper design team layout, so this is using the Masculine collection. This paper, this background paper, is all one paper, this beautiful wood grain, and then the center was there, but I actually cut it apart just so I could pop up the frame a little bit and give a little bit of shadow, a little bit of dimension to it. These florals are from the Floral Ephemera. I just thought it was kind of fun. I love the idea of taking something that is meant to be masculine, hence the name of the collection, Masculine, and adding something that is traditionally more feminine in the florals. But I love these black and whites. I think they turned out beautiful, and they were exactly what this layout needed. I didn't want to add a ton of new color to it because I really wanted this wood grain to stand out. So I was able to pull from the floral collection. This little piece here is from the Forever and Always collection, just a little label that I cut off of one of the papers. I added this flare from the Child at Heart collection. I used some Emerald Creek embossing powder. I think this one was called Midnight Magic, to emboss some little wood veneer hearts to add in there. And I embossed these letters. This is this embossing powder here is called Northern Lights, and then again that is the Midnight Magic. And I just love it. It's so simple, and but it came together so nicely, and it's just some funny pictures I took of me and Fox before he got his hair cut. He was wearing his Chewbacca onesie and came downstairs with his unruly crazy hair, so I made a joke that he had Chewbacca hair. So there you go. I love this layout. It turned out great. This is a layout that I did for the Off the Board series with Crystal from Pineapple Papers. So there's no Wild Whisper on here, but you know me, I throw them all together. So basically I took inspiration from a Steffi Reed layout where she had put a wooden dowel rod here and had some kind of watercolors in the top, and then this little picture and stuff. So I kind of put my own spin on it. I made my own dowel rod. I thought I had some, but I didn't, so I made my own with some rolled up paper. These feathers actually come from this pack here, which is a Forever in Time paper craft collection, kind of like a dollar store brand collection that I got from Dollar Tree. So I have those hanging. I used some stickers from my American Crafts Maggie Holmes sticker book and some glittery silver paper, and yeah, this one came together really fun as well. I took inspiration for my watercolors from their jackets and their dance costumes, and so I thought this one turned out really fun, super different for me. This is another design team layout that I did. So, sorry, there are videos for almost all of these actually, if I forget to mention that. So this again is using the masculine collection. I did some paper weaving. So I just cut strips from a few of the patterns and I wove them together in the corners to create this kind of square with these little corner sections of woven paper. And then I added some of the Feel the Beat ephemera because we're at record store day, so I thought the Feel of the Beat ephemera would be just perfect for that. Added my title, added a few little word strips or sentences from Tim Holtz, and again some of those wood veneer. I actually did my journaling inside the wood veneer, and yeah, I love this one. This turned out so nice. It was so fun to put together, and I love it. I love the colors. Yellow is super different for me. I don't use a lot of yellow, so I like that that's kind of a very prominent color in this layout. This layout was for the Everyday Inspiration series. So we had a picture from Daisy, and it was her shelf, and there was yarn on the shelf and some fun little knickknacks up on the top of the shelf, and a couple of layouts on the hanging on the wall behind the shelf. And my inspiration came from the yarn itself. So I made these kind of circle shapes because obviously her yarn was all in the shelf in skeins, so you could kind of see the circles. And then she had this skein of yarn that was all rainbow, and I realized I had something, if not exactly the same, then very, very similar. So I decided to pull that out and kind of did these bursts of almost like fireworks to celebrate New Year's Eve. I also used black for my background because her shelf that she had everything on was black. Was that it? I think that might have been all of the inspiration I took from her, but lots of fun. I love how everybody's layouts for this month, were completely different and just gorgeous. So definitely go check out that video and all of the links to everybody else. This layout was for the Crafty Maven Getaway spring cleaning YouTube hop that we did. So it was a grab 5 style hop. We're doing some spring cleaning, getting things used up from our stash. So we had 5 things we had to use, which were green and gold, florals, buttons, wood veneer, and the oldest mixed media product that you have in your stash. So you can see, obviously I got lots of green in there, lots of gold in there. My mixed media product is this splatter in the background. It's actually this palette right here, just the Artist's Loft shimmery watercolor palette. I got this one before I even got that more classic one that everybody has with the round little watercolors in it, and I'm so impressed with how vibrant and concentrated the colors are in this background. The sun keeps moving, so it's changing the light on my layout, but it's still, I was super impressed with that. So there's the mixed media. You can see I have some florals here. This floral, oh, actually all of the florals came from Maggie Holmes from her American Crafts sticker book. I have lots of other little green bits that came from Chamel's American Crafts sticker book. I even have a green unicorn because I thought, honestly, when are you gonna ever have an opportunity to use a green unicorn? Right here, right now, it's there. I have the wood veneer that I just painted gold, and these little green buttons. Yeah, this was so much fun to put together. I need to do more layouts like this. This is me, I think. This is where my heart is. I love layouts like this. So yeah, and the funny pictures of my daughter making faces. I just love that. So there is a video for this one. So this layout was done for the Mercy Tiara's 27-day challenge winter inspiration hop. Everybody in the hop picks a challenge from one of the monthly challenges that are out. If you love challenges and you need some motivation, go and check out Mercy Tiara's 27-day inspiration challenge Facebook group, because all of the challenges are posted there. Moira has been doing this absolutely fantastic job of getting out the challenges and doing these hops to help give some inspiration for each of the challenges. And also go check out the video for this, because all of the links to everybody else who participated in the hop is there, so you'll be able to see examples of all of the challenges. So my challenge that I picked was a recipe challenge. So it was S is for silver, which I used some silver acrylic paint, silver in my alphas, and some silver little sequins. S was for stencils, so I used my acrylic paint through this stencil that I got at Dollar Tree that has these little animal prints to it, and some of them were cat prints, so I thought that was kind of fun. S is for stars, so I have some wood veneer little wood button stars. S is for sequins, so I have the sequins. And S was for using 7 pieces of pattern paper. So I have the background paper, then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I cut these out of a pattern paper, and then 7 is that background. So 7 pieces of pattern paper, and then I also threw in some string here because obviously I'm scrapbooking my sweet little Salem, who is no longer with us, and he loved playing with yarn and string, so I threw that in. I could have done stitching instead of stencil, or I could have done both actually, so I kind of thought I would throw the string in there too as just a little different way of having something stitching related in there. And everything from this layout is that I used is from the Fur Babies collection from Wild Whisper. And then the last layout that I have here is actually a 2-page layout that I did. This was for the series For the Love of Crafting and Sharing that is on the 20th of every month. Basically every month we have a theme of something that we can kind of share our love of. So this month was sketches, so I just hopped onto Pinterest and I picked a sketch that I really liked. I ended up turning it into a 2-page layout. I just liked the idea of the banners and kind of the banners that were at the bottom of the sketch as well. I love any kind of sketch that gives me an opportunity to use tons and tons of different pattern papers. And this was a great way to mix and match a whole bunch of Wild Whisper collections as well. So I got the floral collection, masculine, fur babies, I think this one is Road Trip. This one is, or these two are Child at Heart. This is Strength of the Season. This is Feel the Beat. Any other new ones in here? Oh, what's this one? Oh, I think this might be Palm Paradise. This one for sure is Palm Paradise. This one might also be Palm Paradise. The ephemera pieces here are from Child at Heart with the little arrows. This is also from Child at Heart. Oh, so is this from Child at Heart. I scattered some sequins in there and some watercolors in the background. I still had the watercolors out from this green layout that I did. Whoops. There we go. So I decided to go ahead and do it on this one too, even though it wasn't in the sketch, because I just loved how nice that green was. Plus, in these pictures, the playground, all of the metal poles or like handles or anything like that in the playground were all green, so I thought it worked out really good. I stitched through this sort of piece here, this like shelf piece, and I stitched through there. I did it by hand because I wasn't sure if my machine would actually go through all of these layers of paper. Yeah, I love this layout. I think these these turned out so great, and I got to use up a whole bunch of different patterns. I find that if I can use up a little few bits and pieces of stuff, that it really inspires me to pull out everything from that collection and keep going with it. So I think you might see some of that in these layouts, kind of the trend that I have of doing that. So I put a really good dent into this March kit. And then the last thing I did for March is I started this little mini album. So this is inspired by Christy's ABC challenge. I started it and I did a layout for A and a layout for B. Let me zoom you in here a little bit. There we go. I did a layout for A and I did a layout for B, and then I kind of fell off the wagon a little bit. I just, life got busy, COVID became a thing in our lives. Now it's super dark, sorry, here. So what I decided to do is, I was going through this, I'll show you. I was going through this box of pictures I have from 2019 that I printed at Costco. These are the most recent pictures that I've been able to print. Thinking I was going to start up Project Life again, and as I was going through, there were a few spots where I had a bunch of pictures from one event, and I thought maybe I can find something that has at least 26 pictures and make a mini album out of it. So I ended up pulling out all of the pictures from Kaylin's dance competition season. So from her first competition all the way through to the last competition of the year. No other little dance stuff, just the competitions. And I definitely had 26, so I thought I'm gonna restart Christy's challenge and I'm gonna do it as a mini album. So for A and B, that video is actually out today, so you can go and check that out. I'll leave a link. I did alphas by adding some alphas to this little card. It's a beautiful day for an adventure. I thought that was super cute. Then I did some sketchy lines around the border and sprinkled it with some mists. And then I also used those same alphas to write Dance Comp number 1. I kind of had to MacGyver the E a little bit. I used an upside down L for the 1 because this alpha set didn't have numbers. I added a little bit of ephemera and a journaling spot, and then just some sequins from Spiegel Mom Scraps, and sprinkled it again with the same colors from here. And so that is for challenge A, where I was able to get all these words from one set of alphas. And then for challenge B, let me see if I can flip through. So challenge B is 3 things. It was boys, butterflies, balloons. So I got 4 bees on here. No, actually, did I get 5? I got 5 bees on here. No balloons, though. So I think that's okay. So I got boy, obviously. Now, this boy starts with the letter, well, he starts with the letter S, Sebastian, but we call him Bassie. So there's 2 bees. Then I got my butterfly right here. It says love this. That's from Prima, little tickets from Prima. I think that's from the Georgian Blues collection. So there's my butterfly. So there's 3 bees. Then instead of balloons, I added buttons. So there's my 4th bee. And I used some blue watercolor to paint in a couple of the little X's and this ledge here of my card. So 5 bees all together for this card. So my plan is to do C and D maybe later on in the week or beginning of next week, and then E and F maybe by the end of next week, and then I'll be caught up to G and be able to keep going with Christy using all of these pictures and Project Life cards to create a mini album. So that is it for my layouts for this month. If you have any questions, please leave them for me down below, and I will link all of the videos so you can go and check them out and see how I pulled all of these layouts together. I hope you are all doing really, really well. Share with me what you've been doing throughout this whole COVID self-isolation quarantine time. We've been hanging out as a family, doing some homeschooling, dancing, exercising, cooking, doing all the fun stuff, arts and crafts. Let me know what you guys have been up to. I'd love to hear from you, and please stay safe. Until next time, happy scrapping. Bye!